Welcome back to the channel. It is your boy MadridistaFitz, home of Real Madrid's 11th best YouTube channel. Welcome back, and for those new viewers, Hala Madrid. We finished up our preseason with a win, 3-0 against Schalke 04. Funny enough, I went to the game 10 years ago, the last time Real Madrid played Schalke 04 in the Champions League. We did lose that game 4-3, but Cristiano at the time scored a brace that game. Even though it was in a loss, I was actually extremely fucked up. I was hammered. I barely remember being at that game, but today we had a better result. We won the game 3-0, and we're going to talk about it on home of Real Madrid's 11th best YouTube channel. This is your boy MadridistaFitz. If you're new to the channel, we do have the best PowerPoints and the best haircuts when it comes to Real Madrid content, Real Madrid YouTube. So stay on board. Please like and subscribe if you like the content. We're going to talk about today's game, and the main headlines today are going to be Vinicius Jr. My dude, you were absolutely ass today. I'm not going to grill him too hard. I was watching some videos, post-game coverage from other YouTubers who are very good if you get a chance to watch their channels. Dave, Madridista Dave, or Dave Madrid, whatever his name is. He does very good content. Also, Matrix is another YouTuber that has very good content, and they obviously generationally roasted Vinicius Jr. after this game. He was quite poor. There's no denying that. We'll talk about his performance. We'll also talk about the Madrid's win in the final preseason match, gearing up for the start of La Liga, which I believe is next weekend. And then lastly, even for you Barcelona bums, I have some content as well. We'll go over Rodri, that rat bastard, that fucking snake is a Catalonian fuck now. We'll go over that deal as well. It's a done deal according to Fabrizio Romano. We're going to go over the good, the bad of that deal and what it means for Madrid. So starting off this video, today's match, this Schalke 04 team is not the team that was playing in the Champions League 10 years ago. They've been down for a while. That's for gosh damn sure. I believe they were relegated and playing in the second division over in Germany for the past 2 seasons, and they recently just got promoted and they're back in the top flight in the Bundesliga. But this is not a very good football team. Take what you want from the preseason and form and all that. Those Barcelona bums won today 5-2, and of course I had a Barcelona buddy texting me, spooky times. It's so scary, this Barcelona team without Rodri, who is the missing piece to their puzzle for winning the Champions League. Yeah, right, my dude. I'll go over that later. But take what you want from the preseason. There's not much to it. I think the biggest headlines for today is obviously the performance of our boy Vinicius Jr. What a stinker, my dude, which I have on this slide. The fans were booing him. His reaction, he was kind of smiling the whole time. Maybe it hurts for him to do anything else except smile with that new chin of his. Who the hell knows? But I don't know what's going on with this cat. I will say ever since he had an incredible World Cup, he was the best player by far for Brazil. One of the better players in the World Cup, not counting the performance of his team. You know, there are teams that made it further in the World Cup, but if you're counting him as a player, his individual play at the World Cup, he was one of the better players at the World Cup. That's for gosh damn sure. He acquitted himself very well at the World Cup, and ever since the World Cup ended, just the strangest stuff with this guy. The Arsenal rumors were going around. We weren't sure if he's going to sign a contract. He got a brand new chin. Maybe I can get one of those augmentations. I am getting up there in age. I'm kind of getting close to the unk status. I'm going to be 40 next year. It's a madness, but maybe I'll get one of those chin augmentations or chin harmonization surgeries. But ever since he's come back to Real Madrid, he just looks off. I mean, it's the preseason. I will say I'm not going to question his fitness. He's an elite soccer player, an elite athlete. I will say he looks a bit slower. Maybe he gained a kilo or two in his break that he had after the World Cup. Maybe he was just eating, you know, to drown his sorrows, or maybe his new chin's weighing him down. Who knows? But he had a stinker today. It was not the Vinicius Jr. of old. And he does look a little bit older with that chin. I will say that. He has got the chin and the beard going on. And I'm not going to say that this player is losing pace or losing athleticism. He's still a very young cat. He's like 26 years old, something like that. Maybe 27. I believe 26. I'll have to look that one up. But this guy's in the prime of his career. He obviously may not have the pace that he did when he was first at Real Madrid, but he's still very fast. But today, he just looked like he was running in quicksand. He didn't do anything great out there. I think he lost every one-on-one duel, and he does that in games. He'll try to challenge players and take them all one-on-one dribbling, and he's quite successful. Maybe not as successful as he was a couple years ago, but at doing that with that particular part of his game, doing one-on-one dribbles. But he's usually has his wins. He didn't get a single win today. He was quite horrible trying to dribble around his opponent. He tried using trickery. He tried beating him with pace down the line. And then even when your one-on-one game and your dribbling's not working for you, you would hope at least he was able to finish the chances he got. He had two very good chances in this game. One was from a pass from Kylian Mbappe, of all people, the dictator himself, who people have claimed this guy's a selfish player. He set Vinny up very nicely. All Vinny had to do was put it on target. I don't know what the hell that finish was. It was one of the weakest half-ass finishes you would ever see. It was a great chance on goal, but no type of finish to speak of from Vinicius Jr. Quite poor in that. And then in the second half, there was another through ball, a line-breaking pass to him, and I don't know if he was just trying to play for the penalty. There was a guy that was about 3 yards behind him. He caught up to him quite quickly, and in the box, he did get shouldered, from behind, but he kind of just fell over without taking an attempt or just totally playing for the penalty. And then shortly after, he got subbed off. I don't know what's going on with him. We're really going to need Vinicius Jr., and I will be the first to say that I am extremely happy that he re-signed with Real Madrid. Vinicius Jr. is a proven commodity, especially in the Champions League. This guy's already won 2 Champions Leagues. We're going to need him in order to win our 16th. That's something, by the way, Barcelona will never do. They've gone generations now without winning a Champions League. 13 years in a row, and I will get into it in a minute with this Rodri acquisition. I don't think they're going to win shit when it comes to European football, in my opinion. We'll talk about that in a minute, but one thing Vinicius Jr. has done is he's won 2 Champions Leagues. It's almost half as many Champions Leagues as Barcelona has in their sorry fucking history. So we'll get this guy right. Whatever he needs, if he needs more surgeries or whatnot to get his head right, let's get it for him. Let's get it done for him. We really need you, Vinicius Jr. I'm not going to shit on him too much more. It's a preseason game. He looked very poor. He looked very poor in the other preseason games that he played. The last game we played, I thought he looked particularly disinterested in the games before this one. Not that he had a bad effort. He just looked disinterested, like he didn't really want to be out there. But this game, he looked like he was trying. He just was not effective in anything that he did. It was just a frustrating day in the office for him, and everyone has that, whether it's at your own personal job or whether it's playing pickup soccer in your backyard or whether you played in high school or collegiate level. You're always going to have a stinker every now and then. And this was a stinker, and I'd rather his stinkers get out during the preseason and we move on from this and we'll keep going and we'll course correct. But there was a game today, and I will say one thing. We haven't had a spectacular preseason, but I can say today when we started filling in and it looking more like a lineup that we may actually field in real games, I'm excited. I think... Well, I'm not going to say in this video whether I think we're going to win La Liga, whether we're going to win the Champions League. I don't think we're going to win the Champions League. I'll say that. Whether we're going to win a Copa del Rey, I won't go over that during this video. But one thing I will say for sure is we are going to play a better brand of soccer. This team, or football, whatever the hell you want to call it, this team is really shaping up and playing a lot more direct. It's not the side-to-side bullshit that you saw all of last year with Xavi Alonso. We would get the ball up there and it would just be side to side passing, or it would be whenever we transition to Arbeloa, and I don't think we employed any tactics whatsoever. Our offense totally was, Vinny, you take a turn trying to dribble past 5 players. If you failed at it, give it to Mbappe. You try to take a turn around 5 players. I think this Real Madrid team is finally doing something that they haven't really done in the last 2 years, and that's trying to be very direct, even counter-attacking. We have some very fast players on our team. if we pressure the ball high, and we can get some goals out of that. We saw that today. One thing that we did not have the last couple of years is just our offensive players pressuring the ball consistently high up the field and with effort. We saw that today. Mbappe pressured the ball and got an easy goal. He stole the ball from one of the Shakhtar defenders and banged in a goal. He also could have banged in. He had another opportunity he probably could have done better with, but he looked very good today. I have player ratings down here in the corner. We'll just start with him. He got an 8.1, well deserved. He looks electric. Just being 100 with Mbappe, he won't win the Ballon d'Or this year. They might give it to a guy like Rodri or even Lamine Yamal, which I don't really care. That's fine. No big deal. I think it would be a criminal to give it to Lamine Yamal because the dude simply gets double zeros, 0 goals and assists in every big game that he played last season. But fine, if you want to give it to him. At the end of the day, if Kylian Mbappe and Real Madrid would have won any trophies last year, if France would have won the World Cup, this guy would be winning the Ballon d'Or. He's the most, I won't say the most talented, but he's the most talented on planet Earth at doing one thing, and the most important thing in football, in my opinion, and that's banging in goals. This dude's form is just incredible. Every time he goes out, he scores a goal. That's just facts, except against that Spanish team who no one scored any goals against them. That's for goddamn sure. But every game I watch Kylian Mbappe, he's a constant threat for scoring goals, or he scores a goal. We need to ride this horse. He is in the absolute prime of his career, and I think he's going to have a outstanding year. I think he's going to bang in 50 or 60 goals. I would say 60 goals. I think if we play counter-attacking football and we play very direct, no more bullshit side to side, get up there, try line-breaking passes, we are going to score a lot of goals. And Kylian Mbappe is going to be the one banging them in. If you look at even last year, when were times last year where we scored 3 goals against lesser sides? We could have scored 5 or 6 goals today if Vinicius Jr. would have been finishing his shots. Or if Kylian Mbappe probably would have played the second half, we would have dropped 5 or 6 goals. I think we are no longer going to struggle with the small sides. But I'm looking forward to watching it, and wrapping up my whole thought process here is we're going to play, if nothing else, even if we don't win trophies, we're at least going to play a better brand of football. It's going to be more enjoyable to watch, which I am sure is hell looking forward to it, because holy shit, last year was the worst Real Madrid team I've ever seen in 21, 22 years of watching this team. I'm being for real. There's nothing to like about this team. They were not only a bunch of crybabies, but they played terrible football as well. But let's move away from that last year. That's like a bad nightmare. And I've been hearing it a lot from Barcelona fans, that's for sure. I get text messages today just out of the blue about Rodri and how it's spooky times and scary times for Real Madrid now that he's coming there. Crazy stuff, but it's a new season, and I'm tired of the abuse. I hope Real Madrid can figure it all out and we can finally get off the trophy list snide. But going back to these player ratings, Vinicius Jr., I have no idea how the hell this guy got a 7.3. He was pretty ass. I would have gave him about a 5. You get about a 4 for just showing up on the field and having a pulse. He was like, I already went into this. I don't want to talk about him any further. Our boy, Arda Güler, 7.7. He was great. I think this guy, if anything, in the preseason has established he has to be starting. This guy is just a wizard when it comes to passing the ball down. He was passing the ball and creating line-breaking passes, looking for Kylian Mbappe, looking for Vinicius Jr. down the line. He even had a few balls to Brahim Diaz, the Moroccan prince himself, who, typical Brahim Diaz outing, 0-0, no goals, no assists, but Brahim Diaz, 6.7. He is what he is. I think this is towards the end of the Moroccan prince's legacy at Real Madrid. He will no longer be a starter. I think it will end up being Yan Diomande, who didn't really show a whole lot when he got his appearance today. But if nothing else, he is a pace and power guy. You could see it on the field. There's definitely a burst with that young man. If he is young, who knows what his age is. People are it's claimed to be 19 years old. The cat does look like he's in his mid-20s. I will say that for sure. But a power and pace for sure that Yan Diomande has, and he's going to at least keep the defense honest on the other side of the field. Now, I do think that Bernardo Silva and Valverde had nice games as well. They didn't play a lot in the second half, but they were cooking, and these these, excuse me, these scores for them, or the ratings for them, are I think, correct. Valverde 7.7, Bernardo Silva 6.6. I like personally these guys in a deeper role. This is where I think that they will thrive. I don't want to see Bernardo Silva on the right wing. I know he did that a little bit at Man City, but I like his old ass in a deeper role where he's playing a little bit of defense in front of our back line, collecting the ball, getting it to Arda Güler, and let's start our break. Same with Valverde. I still think, in my heart of hearts, I know Valverde will have these little runs of form, these 2 or 3 week periods where he's absolutely lighting up the Bernabeu and lighting up the world and banging in goals. It's like a 3 week thing that pops up every season and a half with him. But offense, in my opinion, isn't the best part of his game. He's quite a good defender, and he has a lot of pace, power, and defensive aptitude, or defensive ability, you could say. He will just run his socks off the entire game, and I like him back there helping out our defense, because I think the defense on this team is still going to be a huge weak point. That's for sure. They were okay today, but I could see against better sides, goals would come, especially in the second half. They looked extremely disjointed once Konate came out and Rudiger came in. It does scare me, this back line. So having guys like Bernardo Silva and Valverde back there to help protect him, that's what I want to see. I think Freddy Valverde, in my opinion, he's not even playing his best position. I think if he got converted to a right back and or a left back, probably a right back, he could be one of the best right backs in the world, just because he's super athletic, he's big, he's tall, he's powerful, and he can defend. But I don't think that's the position he particularly wants to play. But having him in a deeper role, I like it. I hope they continue to do that, because we have plenty of attacking players on this team. What I worry about, I'm not worried about the attack this year. We have plenty of options. We have Mbappe, we have Güler, we have Jude Bellingham, we have Vinicius Jr., who's certainly going to get better. We have Endrick in our reserves. We have Diamande, and we still have Brahim Diaz, who can have a bit role every now and then. I'm not worried about our attack. I am still terrified about this defense, because we still do have Trent Alexander-Arnold, who he was okay today. He got a 7.1. Fair enough. He still can't defend worth a lick. We've learned this in this preseason. I've seen him get cooked all the time in this preseason. I thought Konate and Dean Huijsen were pretty decent together. In the first half, the defense was a lot more sure and steady than the second half. Konate, I know he was getting cooked a lot by in his time at Liverpool last year, but he looked okay today in a start. Any game that you have and the score line is 3-0 and the opponent doesn't score any goals, it's really hard to complain about their performance. Dean Huijsen, he's going to be a very good player, I think, for Real Madrid. We have to remember, this cat was extremely young. He even scored a goal today, which was nice to see with his height. I think really he was given the number 4 shirt this year, which is kind of a vote of confidence for this guy. I think really what we just need to have as Real Madrid fans is a little bit of patience, because the potential's there. He can grow into his body. He's kind of built like a 16-year-old girl right now. That's for goddamn sure. But if we give him a little bit of time and get him bulked up, I think he's going to be a pretty decent player. I just worry, in my opinion, that he is still a bit young, and the guys that he's getting paired with are a bit mid. That's my opinion. I don't think Konate is ever a guy that Real Madrid would have signed if he wasn't a free. That's just being honest. The guy got cooked a lot at Liverpool last year. And then his partnership with the other guys on our team are Militao, who I love him when he's fit. He's a great defender. But the fact remains is he's always hurt. Just like Rodri, who's going to Barcelona. Freaking, he's always hurt. And then another guy that just scares me is Rudiger. He is getting extremely long in the tooth, and he is a hothead. The partnership between Rudiger and Huijsen in the second half didn't look good. If it was a better team that we were playing against, instead of this lowly German side, we probably would have let up some goals. That's just facts. And then lastly, we had Mr. Carreras. Mr. Carreras, he's okay. He certainly will not be our starting left back. It's going to be Cucurella. It was good to see Cucurella get in there and get a little bit of minutes. We need to get him more comfortable with our system, and it was our first time in there, but he'll certainly get up to speed. He's one of the best left backs in the world, if not the best left back, certainly number 2 behind Nuno Mendes. So I'm not worried about him. And he personally knows Lamine Yamal and has practiced against him all the time. So Lamine Yamal, good luck against Cucurella, because that guy seems pretty unhinged and I like it. But Dean or Carreras, I'll sum it up with Critraw. We're not even going to talk about him. He had nothing to really worry about today. Carreras, I will say, he puts in a lot of effort. You can say this guy what you want about him and his talent and, being a little bit of disappointing, but he does try very hard. You can see the effort out there. He runs his socks off, and he's one thing that frustrates me with Vinicius Jr. is Carreras does overlapping runs with Vinicius Jr. all the time, and Vinicius Jr. refuses to pass Carreras the ball. It happens time and time again, and we could even see today Carreras had a beautiful cross for our third goal to Espy in the air. He did another one of his overlapping runs, which he always does, but he actually got the ball, and then he crossed the ball into Espy, the big mutant striker that we signed, and he scored a goal. So I would urge Vinicius Jr., old Vinicius Jr., if you're having a rough day, my dude, try passing the ball to Carreras. He's always going to do those overlapping runs, and I kind of feel bad for the man. He always putting forth effort and running down the sideline, just never to get a ball from Vinicius Jr. It's tough, but say what you want, say what you will. It's a preseason game. I'm not going to get too hype or too down about it. Well, let's see what happens next weekend. I do think that this side is going to play a lot better football, and I will get into a full video on a La Liga preview and all that and how I think it's going to go. But the fact is La Liga, you don't have to be better than Barcelona or Atletico Madrid to win. You just have to be the most consistent team across the entire season to win La Liga. We can't lose to any of these little sides anymore. You can have maybe one off game, 2 off games. You can't drop points against those minnows more than 1 or 2 times in a season, because Barcelona is very consistent in La Liga. So at the end of the day, we don't have to be thrashing Barcelona. We could even split games with them. If we split games with Barcelona this year, I'd be happy. We could win at home and let Barcelona win in their dirty-ass Camp Nou in Catalonia. As long as we stay consistent and beat all the other small teams, we have a very good chance of winning La Liga. La Liga is a marathon. It is not a sprint. So I'll get into that in a different video, but preseason over with. I'm looking forward to the actual football schedule, and I think we're going to play some better football, at least. If nothing else, this preseason, what it has shown me is that this team has a competent coach, and I think the players are going to get behind him and rally to his cause and hopefully play his type of football, because if not, they're going to sit their asses on the bench with Jose Mourinho. That's just facts. And promising form from particularly Arda Güler in the preseason. He's been great. And one sighting of Kylian Mbappe for one half has me excited. The guy looks electric. He was just flying around, just dribbling past everyone, really, and banging in a goal per usual. Now, we'll end this video. I like to always end videos with a little bit of Barca bum chatter. So Barcelona, and as soon as Rodri got signed with Barcelona, I got text messages not from 1, not from 2, not from 3, from 4 different Barcelona fans about Rodri. You know what? Congratulations, Barcelona. You got your boy. But at what price is what I will say. And these are my words. These are my words, I'll say first off. And then I will go over this article, because these are not my words. This is an article from Sports Illustrated. My words on the matter is, great job, Barcelona. You got a great player. Rodri is the best. Facts are facts, and I will stick to it. Rodri is the best defensive midfielder on planet Earth whenever he is healthy. That is the key, healthy. Rodri, I've said this in other videos, I would have loved to have Rodri. I think absolutely if Real Madrid would have got Rodri, and it would have been a generational transfer window. We would have had La Liga wrapped up, and I think for a 1 to 2 year period with the team that we have assembled, if Rodri were to stay healthy, we could really have made a run at the Champions League. It's very disappointing that we didn't get him, and it's very unusual that Barcelona is able to snake a player away from Real Madrid. I will say that is a generational type pull from Barcelona, because this usually does not happen. Usually Real Madrid gets the guy, gets the girl at the end of the day, and Barcelona usually is the one going home crying. Now, I will say the big things against Rodri, in my opinion, is the dude is old as fuck. I mean, he's almost as old as me. He's 30 and he's injury prone. The dude has torn his ACL. He's getting back surgery. As soon as I text that to a buddy, it's like my buddy immediately wrote, but it's minor. Like, he's the one in the operation room. He's a doctor doing it. Get the fuck out of here. Anytime you're getting back surgery, that's not good, especially if you're a player that's aging. And the price for this is just astronomical for a club that operates on an extremely thin margin. Barcelona barely turned profit last year. That the only reason they are in 1-to-1 financial fair play spending is because they were profitable for the first time in many years. They turned a $5 million net profit, which is basically if you take all their revenue and subtract all of the money, all the money that they gave, you subtract that from all the money that they owe to people, all of their operating expenses, etc., etc. I'm not going to get into the fine details of it, but they only netted a $5 million profit. Now, years past, they were negative. Now, this Rodri deal is expensive as fuck. It was up to I think it was 78 million euros for this cat, which is about, add 10 million to American because of the exchange rate. So it's about 87 million euros for a guy that's 30 years old that you could have got for free next year. That's a madness to me. And I think this article, which I have posted here, once again, I gave you my words. Now I'm going to read briefly this article, which is someone else's opinion, not my opinion, but I agree with a lot of things that they wrote in this article. And this is from Sports Illustrated. So it says, Barcelona agreed Rodri deal. Here's why it might not be the best decision. Have the Spanish champions been short-sighted in their pursuit of the World Cup winner? I would agree. Barcelona is always short-sighted. They never plan for the future, especially when it comes to their finances. They've just got to 1-to-1 spending, and they're taking out a crazy loans. They're going to be back to being broke next year, and getting into a big deal like this for a 30-year-old that has injury problems. Good luck, guys. But I'll read this article briefly for you guys. Home of Real Madrid's 11th best YouTube channel. If you do like this content, please like and subscribe. This isn't my primary job. It's actually a madness trying to make these videos sometimes. I put my son to bed and then I make these videos as quick as I can, and then editing takes about an hour or so. So if you like this, please like and subscribe. I would appreciate it. But let's read this article briefly. It says, Barcelona sealed the deal for World Cup hero Rodri on Sunday evening, reported to have finalized an agreement in principle with Man City worth up to 76.5 million euros. So this is, like I said, 87.8 million in American dollars. The Premier League side is expected to have received 68.8 million of that guaranteed. That surprises me because Barcelona usually tries to fleece their way out and do kind of not fixed payments. They try to pay over a period of time in increments and all that, deferred payments you could say, but they gave 68.68 million up front. That's crazy for a club that is struggling financially to give all that money up front. I imagine that the Anthony Gordon deal is one of those deals, once again, that's going to be paid out in increments. So that's surprising to me that they went that route. But the Ballon d'Or, this is the article continued, the Ballon d'Or winner saw his stock rise back up this summer after he led Spain in the 2026 World Cup victory, walked away with the golden ball to Barcelona, desperate to get a deal over the line, and made two previous bids to Man City, reportedly worth 52 million and 69.3. Both were rejected. The Catalonians will feel grateful that they successfully captured Rodri from City and ahead of a hungry rivals, Real Madrid. That's facts. That one hurts. But at what exorbitant cost? So here's where the article gets juicy. The 31-year-old is currently sidelined at least through the end of August following recent surgery, but also had less than 12 months left on his City contract and would have made him a free agent next summer. That's facts. You could have got this guy for free if you really wanted him next summer. But instead, you wanted to pay almost $87 million for him. Was signing Rodri at great expense at this time really the best decision? So this article moves on and says, injury after injury for Rodri. Rodri's physical reliability has been a giant question mark. He suffered a devastating knee injury in September 2024, which resulted in him in missing 51 games and not returning to the pitch until late April 2025. He has not been consistently available ever since. His career interspersed with other muscular issues in his hamstring and groin, so he has other issues besides just his knee. Hamstring and groin, limited to appearances in spurts. The World Cup played over 5 weeks and may have been a mirage compared to the rigors of a 9-month club season. His latest setback came this summer in the form of a back injury, something that required him to go under the knife once the tournament ended. It remains unconfirmed when Rodri will return, so we don't even know when this cat's going to play for Barcelona. And here's another big thing, and this is where the article continues. Barcelona do not have a striker. Barcelona manager Hansi Flick has a bigger priority than his club dropping bags of cash for Rodri. Even without Frankie de Jong, the Barcelona could get by in midfield thanks to Pedri, Gavi, and Marc Bernal. Eric Garcia can play there, while Espart had a strong preseason with the first team. Marc Casado is expected to leave with Rodri coming in, and there is no concrete destination. So let's finish up this article. Scroll down here. What Barcelona don't have is a striker. There is no clear answer to filling the Robert Lewandowski-sized hole, and the Ferran Torres just hopped over to Paris Saint-Germain. Atletico Madrid's Julian Alvarez seems destined to stay in the nation's capital, not for lack of trying on his part to get out. No striker means potentially playing wingers Anthony Gordon or Adamandi in a false nine role. Lamine Yamal is an option, but Flick said the focus remains on having the teenager stay on the right wing. They are now scrambling for an alternative in the final weeks of the transfer window, a mission that became a whole lot more challenging now that they have not a lot of cash to pay with. That's facts. They spent a ton of money on this deal. It's just a lot of money. I won't continue reading the rest of this article. It is quite lengthy, but I agree with those sentiments. Those are my two biggest concerns about Rodri. One is that motherfucker is costing y'all a lot of money. That is a lot of cash for a team that is been really in debt. They have a ton of operational debt. It's a madness with them. I won't get into the finer statistics of it. It was 450 million. Just tack on another 68 million to that operational debt that they have. That is not good coming next year when financial fair play has to get assessed again for Barcelona. And two, Rodri's just an older gentleman. It sucks. I'm going to tell you, any young cats watching this video, getting old sucks. It does. I'm about near 40. Even when I was 33, 34, I was still running around a lot, but I started slowing down. That's just the facts. This guy's his best football is probably behind him. He could probably give you 1 or 2 years of good to quality football, but I imagine by 33 to 34, he's going to be fucking cooked. I mean, the writing's already on the wall. He's had a lot of injuries. I think at Real Madrid, it would have been a less calculated risk because we're in a better financial position, and I think we really only needed him for a season or two to cook and help us win La Liga back. And I think that would have really got us over the hump, but I had a buddy text me and say he's going to play until he's like 37, 38 and be the next Busquets. No, the hell he isn't. This dude is hurt all the fucking time. So get that fucking out of your head. It's a madness. This dude is old as dirt. So freaking enjoy him for the next year or two. I hope he gets out of the medical room, and best of luck this season. We will go over in another video what my thoughts are for La Liga. I will just say one thing before I sign off. If Real Madrid ever gets good again, I will be laying it on fucking thick in these videos. You Barcelona bums. You see this eye? This is the eye of death coming at y'all. Fuck y'all, Barcelona. Good night. Real Madrid. See you later. Puta Barca. Fuck y'all. Good night.